would you?
Clara shouted, her voice breaking. Her fist slammed against the marble floor, the sharp sound echoing across the empty hall. Her vision blurred with fury, and her heart pounded like a war drum. Alina's smirk didn't falter, even as the crowd around them gasped. "You think anyone going to believe you over me?" Alina whispered, leaning close, her voice like ice. "They all know who the real daughter is." Clara's eyes burned. 10 years of being erased, ignored, abandoned, all leading to this moment. She had counted the seconds until the truth would finally surface. Yet even now, standing in the grand hall with her own parents just a few steps away, she felt the sting of betrayal like salt on a wound. The last 5 years had changed her, forged her in fire. She hadn't just survived prison, she had endured what no one could imagine, brutal, daily torment orchestrated by the sister who had stolen her life. And now, Alina stood there, dressed in black and diamonds, the image of perfection, the same girl who had once been the innocent replacement. You can't get away with this," Clara hissed. Alina's laugh was soft, deliberate. "I already did. For 5 years, you suffered while I lived in your place, and everyone believed me. Everyone except your brother, maybe, but he was always too busy to interfere." Clara's jaw tightened. Daniel had returned just hours ago, having spent years away after the family had blamed him for everything, or so he said. But even his presence couldn't shield her from the storm Alina had created. Before Clara could respond, Mike stepped forward, his face pale, eyes wide. The man she had once loved, the man whose kidney she had donated without hesitation, looked at her as if she were the enemy. "Clara, his voice faltered. "You, what?" Clara's voice rose, cutting through the murmurs of the guests. "You're going to believe her over me, after everything." Mike swallowed hard, guilt and confusion twisting his features. I thought she saved your life," Clara interrupted sharply, tears brimming. "I was the one who gave you my kidney, Mike, not her." The hall fell silent. Alina's smirk wavered for the first time. "Oh, please," she said, rolling her eyes. "You think anyone cares about that now? Myra's in the hospital because of you. That's what matters." Clara's breath hitched. "I didn't see she pushed her." "No one will believe you," Alina said sweetly, stepping closer, the room leaning in with tension. "Not after 5 years. You've been gone, you were nothing, I was everything." Clara's fists curled at her sides. She had rehearsed this moment in her mind, over and over. Every confrontation, every sneer, every accusation, every lie Alina had told. She had lived for this, and now she would make them all see the truth. Daniel finally spoke, his deep voice cutting through the silence. "Enough, both of you. Stop acting like children. Clara is our sister, we all know that." Alina's eyes darted to him, fury flashing. "And you believe her," she hissed, "after everything she's done." Daniel's jaw tightened. "I've seen what she went through. I've seen the scars you left, and I know the truth." Alina's smile faltered. "Scars, lies, she's pretending she wants pity." "You paid people to torture her," Daniel said slowly, deliberately, letting the words sink. "Do you really think anyone will believe it was her choice?" Clara's heart raced. This was it, the first crack in Alina's armor, but she couldn't let it stop here, not yet. "I don't need anyone's pity," Clara said, her voice steady but sharp. "I don't need my parents to suddenly act like they care after all this. I need justice, that's all." The crowd shifted uneasily, whispers rising. Some guests had known Clara before her disappearance, some had only known Alina, but all could sense the tension, the deep wrong that had been done. Alina's laugh came again, a low, venomous sound. "Justice? Do you think anyone will see the truth? You've been gone for 5 years. No one remembers you. No one trusts you. I've lived your life while you suffered. And everyone thinks I'm the victim here." Clara's eyes narrowed. "You think you've won, but the truth has a way of catching up with liars." The sound of a car horn outside snapped everyone's attention. A black SUV rolled up, its engine rumbling. Clara's pulse quickened. Andrew, her lawyer, the one who had never stopped fighting for her. The one who had finally gathered the evidence, the proof that would shatter Alina's empire of lies. Alina turned, noticing the car. Her smirk returned, but it was forced. "Who's that supposed to be? Your savior?" she asked mockingly. Clara didn't answer. She didn't need to. The moment of reckoning was coming. But before she could move, Elena stepped forward, brushing past her deliberately, and slammed into her shoulder. Clara stumbled, steadying herself with a gasp. "Watch it!" she snapped. Mike stepped between them, anger flashing across his face. "Stay away from her, Elena." Elena rolled her eyes, leaning closer to Clara with a whisper. "Do you really think anyone will believe you over me?" Clara clenched her fists, the familiar rage and heartbreak mixing inside her. "They will," she said quietly, deadly calm. "And when they do, you won't get away with anything." At that moment, her father, enraged at the commotion, stepped forward, hand raised. But when he saw the bruises on Clara's arms, bruises from years of prison torment, he froze. What happened here?" he demanded. Elena's quick to respond, her voice sweet and innocent. "Oh, father, she's pretending again, trying to gain attention. You know how dramatic she can be." Clara's mother stepped forward, hesitating, a flicker of guilt crossing her face. "Clara, is that true?" she asked softly. Clara shook her head slowly, eyes cold. "Don't act like you care now. Don't drag me into your guilt. You left me to suffer while Elena thrived in my place. I don't need your pity." The hall was silent. Guests whispered, some shocked, some unsure of what to believe. Daniel stepped closer, standing by Clara. "Father, mother, look at her. She's telling the truth. The bruises, do you really think she would fake that?" Elena's laugh was sharp, almost desperate. "You think this changes anything? You think anyone will side with you now? You've been gone. You've lost your place. You're nothing." Clara's lips curved into a faint, cold smile. "Nothing. No, I'm the one who survived hell, and soon everyone will know it." Just then, the hum of tires grew louder, the lawyer's SUV pulling to a stop outside. Clara's heart raced. The countdown had begun. The proof, the evidence, the truth that would finally free her from 5 years of injustice. It was here. She glanced at Elena, who was trying to maintain her composure, and whispered under her breath, "You think you've won, but the game only just begun." The first wave of whispers filled the room. Cameras snapped. Phones were raised. Clara didn't flinch. She had waited too long for this. And now, the moment to reclaim her life had finally arrived. The black SUV door opened, and Andrew stepped out, briefcase in hand, determination in his eyes. The truth was coming. And nothing, not even Elena, could stop it. Clara's eyes never left the black SUV as Andrew stepped onto the marble steps, briefcase in hand, his suit crisp, his expression sharp. The room seemed to hold its breath, the whispers dying down as he entered the hall. "Elena George," he began, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. "You have a lot of explaining to do." Elena turned sharply, her carefully composed smile faltering. "And who are you?" she asked, though her eyes betrayed the flicker of fear she tried to suppress. "I'm the lawyer representing Clara George," Andrew said, clicking open his briefcase and pulling out a flash drive. "And I have proof that will reveal the truth about what really happened 5 years ago." Clara's heart raced. Finally, the years of lies, manipulation, and betrayal might be brought into the light. Mike's gaze shifted between Andrew and Clara, confusion and guilt warring on his face. "Wait, proof?" he asked. "Are you serious, after all this time?" "Yes, Mike," Clara said, her voice steady but sharp. "After all this time, I've suffered in ways you couldn't even imagine while she lived my life and destroyed mine. And today the truth comes out." Elena stepped back, her eyes narrowing. "You think a piece of paper, some stupid flash drive, will change anything? You've been gone for 5 years. Everyone's seen me as the real daughter. Everyone believes me." Andrew didn't flinch. He inserted the flash drive into a laptop and projected the screen onto the wall. Footage from the stairwell 5 years ago flickered to life, grainy, yes, but unmistakable. It showed Myra, Mike's sister, falling down the stairs, and pushing her, not Clara, Elena. The room gasped. Even Clara's parents froze, their mouths opening and closing as disbelief and shock battled against the lingering doubts they had held for so long. Daniel stepped forward, his jaw tight. So, all these years, you lied. His voice trembled with rage and disbelief, but also relief that his sister's innocence was finally being exposed. Alina's face turned pale. That's not. It is, Andrew interrupted. And that's not all. We have witness statements from 3 former inmates who were paid to harass and abuse Clara in prison. All payments traced directly back to Alina George. Clara felt her hands tremble, not from fear, but from the adrenaline of vindication. Every punch, every humiliation, every night she had endured in prison flashed before her eyes, and now the world would see the truth. Mike staggered backward, shock and guilt etched deep into his features. "Alina, how could you?" he whispered, as though repeating the words would make them real. Alina's lips twitched, trying to form a smile. "It's not what you think." "It's exactly what we've all seen," Andrew said firmly. "CCTV footage, bank records, hospital files, they all prove it. Clara did not push Myra. Alina orchestrated everything, including the attempt to make Clara appear guilty for financial gain and personal revenge." The crowd in the hall whispered frantically, some shaking their heads, some staring at Alina in shock. Guests who had once assumed Clara's guilt now began to murmur. Could it be true? Was Clara really innocent? Alina's smirk completely vanished. Panic replaced her carefully maintained composure. You can't do this. You don't understand." Clara stepped forward, her voice low but deadly calm. "I understand perfectly. I understand that for 5 years you stole my life, my family's love, and every opportunity I had. I survived hell so that today this would happen, and now the truth is here." Her father's face contorted with anger and confusion. "Alina, is this true?" he demanded. Myra, lying in her hospital bed nearby, weakly raised her hand. "It was Clara," she whispered. Her voice was barely audible, but the truth in it carried more weight than any evidence. Mike fell to his knees, burying his face in his hands. "Clara, I didn't know, I thought," his voice cracked. "I thought she—" "Mike," Clara said sharply, her patience wearing thin. "Stop. Don't make excuses. You were manipulated just like everyone else. But now the lies are ending." Alina, desperate, tried one last manipulation. She leaned close to Clara, whispering venomously, "Even now, who will believe you over me? You were in prison. You're weak. I've been perfect. You think they'll side with you." Clara's gaze didn't waver. Her fists clenched, but she let out a single, controlled breath. "I don't need them to believe me. I have proof. And soon everyone will see you for what you are." Andrew held up the flash drive. "This contains everything. The CCTV footage, the financial records, the witness statements. All verified and ready for law enforcement." Alina's eyes widened. Her plan was crumbling before her very eyes. For the first time, the mask of confidence she had worn for years fell away, replaced with raw fear. Clara's mother stepped forward, tears welling in her eyes. "Clara, I didn't know. I thought I failed you." Clara shook her head, stepping back. Don't apologize. You left me. You abandoned me to a life of pain. Your apologies won't fix what was stolen. I'm not here for pity. I'm here for justice." Her father stepped forward, anger still visible on his face, though now mixed with uncertainty. "Clara, how could you survive all of this?" "I survived because I had no choice," Clara said softly. "I endured because I had to, and today I reclaim what's mine. Everything you gave her that was meant for me, it ends now." Alina, shaking with rage and fear, tried to make a run for it, but security blocked her. "You think you've won," she screamed, struggling. "I am the real daughter. You can't take this from me." Clara's eyes narrowed. "You were never the real daughter, and today everyone will finally see the truth." Daniel stepped up beside Clara, placing a protective hand on her shoulder. "This ends now," he said. "Not just for you, Clara, but for everyone who tried to hurt you." The room was tense, every breath heavy. Even Mike, who had once loved Alina, now stared at her in shock and disbelief. Alina's voice broke, almost a whisper. You can't do this. My life, my future, everything." Andrew's eyes never left her. "Your lies end today, Alina. You'll answer everything." Clara's lips curved into a small, satisfied smile. Not for revenge, not for spite, but for truth. She had waited 5 years for this moment, and now it has come. Clara's eyes never left Alina as security guided her toward the exit. The room was silent, heavy with disbelief. Guests whispered frantically, some shaking their heads. Others staring in awe at Clara, the girl who had returned from prison, standing tall despite years of torment. "You think this ends here?" Alina spat, struggling against the guards. "You think you can just erase me?" Clara stepped forward, her heels clicking against the polished floor. "Erase you? No, expose you, yes, reveal who you really are." Alina's smirk was gone. Panic glimmered in her eyes. For the first time, she looked small, fragile, cornered. She tried to scream, to manipulate the crowd, to twist the story again, but the evidence was irrefutable. CCTV footage, bank records, and witness statements all pointed to her. Mike stood frozen, guilt written all over his face. I don't understand," he whispered, turning to Clara. I thought she saved me. I thought she gave me her kidney." Clara's eyes softened, just slightly. "I did, Mike. I saved your life. And yet, even after that, you still believed her lies over me. Do you know what it feels like to give everything for someone and still be discarded?" Mike lowered his head, shame filling him. I was blind. You were manipulated," Clara interrupted sharply. "Just like my parents were. But today it ends. No more lies, no more pretending, no more Alina controlling your lives." Her father's face twisted in anger. "Clara, you dare speak to me like that, after everything?" "Yes," Clara said calmly, but with steel in her voice. "After everything. You left me to suffer in prison, to endure hell because you chose to believe a liar over your own daughter. Today, that stops." Her mother's lips trembled. "Clara, I was wrong. I should have." Clara lifted a hand, stopping her. "Save it. I don't need your apologies. I survived 5 years of abuse. I learned who I am, who I can be. And I don't need your pity. I need justice. That's it." Daniel stepped forward, standing beside Clara. "Father, Mother, look at her. Look at what she endured. Look at the scars you caused. She is stronger than any of us imagined." Guests murmured, some nodding, some gasping. Even Mike's eyes filled with tears as he finally understood the depth of Clara's suffering. Alina's voice rose in desperation. "You can't do this. You can't take everything from me. My life, my future, my family." Clara's gaze hardened. "You already took mine. But today I take back what's mine, legally, morally, and finally publicly. Everything you stole from me ends now." Andrew stepped forward, holding the flash drive high. "Law enforcement is on their way. The evidence is clear, and Alina George will answer for all her crimes: attempted murder, perjury, evidence tampering, and the abuse she orchestrated in prison." Alina's eyes darted around the room, panic overtaking her. "You think this changes anything? People will still see me as the victim. You're nothing without me." Clara shook her head, her voice unwavering. "I'm everything I was always meant to be. I don't need you to validate me anymore. And soon, everyone will know exactly who you are." Mike finally spoke, his voice shaking. "Clara, I owe you everything. I can't believe I doubted you. I was blind." Clara's eyes softened slightly, a flicker of the girl he once loved showing through. "You were manipulated, Mike. Don't let it happen again. But know this, my life is mine, not yours, not Alina's, mine." Her father's anger flared one last time. "You think you can just walk away after all of this, after ruining the family's reputation?" Clara's voice rose, echoing through the hall. "Ruining? I didn't ruin anything. I survived what you failed to protect me from. I endured years of abuse, false accusations, and abandonment. And today I reclaim my life. If that makes you angry, good. You should feel it." Her mother stepped forward, tears streaming. "Clara, please. We can make this right. We can." Clara raised her hand, cutting her off. "No, not now, not ever. You left me to suffer. You chose her over me. I don't forgive. I won't forget. I survived. And I live." Alina, realizing her hold over the family was gone, tried one last manipulative tactic. She leaned close to Clara, voice trembling but sharp. You think you can just erase me? I'll make sure everyone remembers me, not you. Even now, they'll see me as the real daughter. Clara's gaze bore into Alina. The truth has a way of revealing itself, and today it has. The guests whispered frantically, some turning to look at Alina with disbelief, others staring at Clara with admiration. The balance had shifted. Clara was no longer the powerless one. She was the girl who had returned, the girl who had survived hell, the girl who would finally reclaim her life. Andrew stepped forward, his presence commanding. Law enforcement is arriving. Alina George will be held accountable, and Clara George will have everything she is entitled to. Alina's face drained of color, panic replacing the arrogance she had worn for years. She struggled, but security held her fast. You can't do this. You can't take my life. Clara stepped closer, voice low and steady. I don't want your life, Alina. I want justice. And today, justice is served. Mike, Myra, and Daniel watched silently as Alina was escorted out. The tension in the room slowly lifted, replaced by a mixture of relief, shock, and admiration for Clara. Clara looked around, her eyes meeting the crowd. She didn't see pity. She didn't see fear. She saw the truth. She saw people finally understanding the strength it had taken to survive what she had endured. Her mother stepped forward one last time, voice soft. Clara, we failed you. We were wrong. Can you forgive us? Clara shook her head, her lips pressing into a thin line. Forgiveness is not mine to give. You left me to suffer. I survived. That's enough. Her father, defeated and silent, looked at her for the first time not with anger, but with the dawning realization of what they had done. Daniel placed a hand on Clara's shoulder. Welcome back, sister. We've missed you. But this time it's your life. Clara nodded, her eyes hard but calm. Yes, my life, and no one will ever take it from me again. Clara stood still as the echo of Alina's screams faded down the hallway. The doors closed. Silence followed. Not peace, just silence. The kind that comes after a storm destroys everything in its path. Her father cleared his throat. Clara, we need to talk. She didn't turn. There's nothing left to say. You can't just walk away, he snapped. After everything that's happened tonight, after the damage done to this family. Clara finally faced him. Her eyes were calm, empty of fear. This family walked away from me 5 years ago. I'm just returning the favor. Her mother stepped forward, hands trembling. Please, let's go home. We can start over. We can fix this. Clara laughed once, short, bitter. Fix what? The years I spent being beaten, the nights I slept hungry, the moment you watched me get taken away and didn't even look back. Her mother broke down. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. You knew enough, Clara replied. You knew I was your daughter, and that should have been enough. Daniel stepped in quickly. Clara, don't do this alone. You don't have to cut everyone off. She looked at him then, really looked. You were the only one who came back, the only one who doubted. That matters, but this, she gestured around the room. This ends tonight. Andrew approached quietly. The paperwork is ready. Clara nodded. Good. Her father's eyes widened. Paperwork? What paperwork? Clara took the folder from Andrew and placed it on the table. Family estrangement agreement. Legal. Permanent. I cut all ties. No inheritance. No obligations. No name. Her mother gasped. You don't mean that. I do. Her father scoffed. You're doing this out of spite. No, Clara said. I'm doing this out of survival. He grabbed the pen. You think you can shame us publicly and then walk away clean? She leaned forward. I walked out of prison with nothing. This is cleaner than that. His hand shook as he signed. The sound of the pen scratching paper felt louder than any scream that night. It's done, Andrew said. Clara exhaled. Mike stood frozen nearby, eyes red. Clara, please, I need to talk to you. She didn't look at him. You had 5 years. I was lied to. So was I, she replied. The difference is I paid for it. He stepped closer. I loved you. She finally met his eyes. You loved the lie, and you let that love destroy me. His voice cracked. I would give anything to take it back. You already took everything, she said calmly, and I survived anyway. Security returned. Alina, been taken into custody. No one cheered. Clara turned toward the door. Good. Weeks passed. The media exploded. Headlines everywhere. The girl who, RET from prison after 5 years. The heiress who was erased. The ADOPTAD daughter who lied. Clara gave no interviews. She attended one meeting. Boardroom, quiet, cold. The company executives stared as Andrew slid documents across the table. Due to falsified records and illegal fund transfers tied to Alina George, Andrew said, ownership transfers to Clara George, effective immediately. One executive cleared his throat. You're very young. Clara replied, so was I when you let them destroy my life. Silence. She became CEO that day. Her first decision. She changed the company name. Phoenix Group. Someone asked why. She answered, because I burned, and I came back anyway. Mike sent letters. She never opened them. Her mother came once, standing outside her office for hours. Clara didn't come out. Daniel stayed in touch, carefully, respectfully. That was enough. Months later, Clara stood in front of the orphanage she grew up in. Children laughed behind her. She handed the director a check. For education, Clara said, and legal aid. For who? The woman asked. For girls no one believes. That night, Clara stood alone in her apartment, city lights glowing through the window. No family photos, no memories on the walls. Just space. And peace. Her phone buzzed. A notification. Alina George was sentenced to life imprisonment. Clara stared at the screen for a long moment. Then she set the phone down. No smile. No tears. Just quiet. She walked to the mirror and looked at herself. The girl who went to prison never came back. The woman who returned built everything again. From nothing. And she never asked for permission. If this story moved you, shocked you, or made you angry, don't forget to like the video. Drop a comment and tell us, do you think Clara was right to cut ties completely? And if you want more powerful stories like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. More stories are coming. Some families lose you once. Others choose to lose you forever. And sometimes, walking away is the only victory that matters.